Hey cool people, I'm Nick, I'm a he, him, and I made a defense formula to find out Sora's defense stat range in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. I've been running through these weird tests lately, like, does Sora have a maximum defense or not? He does, and you'll never guess what it is. Actually, comment down below what your guess is. It's okay, I won't go on without you. And I'll give you a hint, it isn't 55. Now go on, you got time. Really, go comment. Ready? The soft cap is 53! Okay, it's a minor distinction, but let me explain. When people say 55 is the soft cap, what do you think they're referring to? Probably unknown in Sephiroth, right? Like the strongest bosses have the most defense, logically. But that's wrong, you're wrong. You actually only need 47 defense for both of them. Instead, the 53 soft cap is for Phantom and Rock Titan. Has anyone ever been hit by Rock Titan? Now in a future video, I'll go over the defense ceilings and floors for each enemy, but for now, I'll give you the formula so you can see the mathematical torture I've been putting myself and my Discord through. Quick shout out to Blair and Dan, my friends from said Discord, who helped confirm the stat ranges for Awakening, Destiny Islands, Traverse Town, and Deep Jungle. Shout out to all the people who have worked on the KH Wiki. Without their knowledge and dedication, I would have never figured this out. And also, shout out to Ahirun, this name, for listing, if not figuring out, the damage formula itself. Let's begin. So my method initially was to fight each enemy with as low of a defense as possible, and then fight them again with a stupid high defense to find the most damage Sora can take and the least damage Sora can take per enemy per attack. Then when I got all the damage numbers, I created a formula that I've since tested and confirmed to figure out the defense range. So here's an example of how I tested my formula. So if Sora needed a low defense stat of 20 to take maximum damage, and a high defense stat of 30 to take minimum damage, I would then test the enemy's weakest attack at 21 defense, and the strongest attack at 29 defense. And if the damage was one integer different from my numbers, I knew I was correct. When's the last time you heard someone say integer? Now, let's actually get into the formula. Firstly, we will need a test subject, so just call me Hojo because we'll be experimenting on Sephiroth. Here's what the formula looks like and how to find the defense floor, aka low cap. ES plus PB minus X equals LD. Don't get scared, it's okay. They're all just placeholders. ES being the enemy's strength. PB being a specific attack's power bonus, just put a pin in that, I'll explain power bonus soon. LD is the low defense stat for Sora, and X is... okay, hard to explain. So think of X as a placeholder for attack damage that is reverse engineered in the damage formula, stay with me. As an example, let's say Sephiroth hits me for 40 damage. Now we'll look at the damage formula and find its X equivalent. Don't worry, no math involved. We just gotta look at this table and we'll see that the X equivalent of 40 is 17. So in this example, X equals 17. Now technically, if you did want to do the math, my formula actually looks like this. D being the damage I mentioned in the example, but I think just putting X and looking slightly to the left on this table is easier than all that math. And I know you agree if your eyes glazed over looking at this piece of shit formula. So if you're still a little confused, here's what it looks like in action. Sephiroth has 46 strength, and his jump slash has a power bonus of 6, which does maximally 38 damage to Sora. But you'll notice that number is not on the damage table. So we just round up to the next higher damage, in this case, 40, which as we already know, the X equivalent is 17. This happens to be Sephiroth's weakest attack, his side slash or his leap slash, and here's proof 35 is the defense stat floor. Now, ideally, you understand the low cap, but what about the high cap? We actually have to use a different attack in the stat floor formula, the low cap formula, first. So take that pin out. Basically, power bonus is just a way to indicate the strength of an attack. The weakest attack has the lowest power bonus, and the highest attack, which is what we need, has the highest power bonus. The strongest attacks are Wild Dance Finisher and his Supernova Explosion, both at a power bonus of 12. So 46 plus 12 equals 58, and the Wild Dance Finisher does 42 damage maximally. The X equivalent of 42 damage does not exist. Instead, we round up again to the next integer, which is 48, and the X equivalent of 48 is 18. 58 minus 18 equals 40, so 40 defense is the lowest defense we need before the damage starts to reduce for his strongest attacks. Now to calculate the highest defense cap we need, or the defense ceiling, we will use this formula. I'm just fucking with you. I simplified it to this. X is the same as it was in the low damage formula, the X equivalent of the attack's highest damage output, while Y is the X equivalent of the attack's lowest damage output. So in this case, we know LD is 40, and X is equal to 18, and the attack's lowest damage output is 14. So the X equivalent of 14 is 11, 18 minus 11 is 7, so 40 plus 7 equals 47, which is our defense ceiling, or high cap. Here's the proof. And that's all it is. You can figure out any range with this formula with 100% accuracy on all enemies, which I just spent like 4 months doing, yay. But now then, one final question. Does this change based off difficulty? My tests were on beginner and final mix mode, so what about proud mode? Well, proud mode receives double damage, right? But does that affect this formula? Yes and no. Using Sephiroth as our guinea pig again, here's me at 46 defense. I take 34 damage from his Wild Dance finisher on proud mode, because half of that is 17 on beginner standard, and that's one interval above the lowest damage output. It appears the defense stats stay the exact same, just the damage Sora receives is doubled. So what you would do to figure it out on proud mode is just divide the damage you're taking by 2 before fighting its X equivalent. Another example, Sephiroth's side slash does 38 on standard and 76 on proud, so divide 76 by 2 and you'll get 38 again, before plugging it into our defense formula. What would happen if we applied the formula to the proud mode damages is that it'd actually reduce the stats we need. The Sephiroth range would be 31 to 43 defense instead of 36 to 47, and that just doesn't make sense. So here's the proof that on proud mode, the defense ranges are the same. Sephiroth will be doing 78 and 72 damage at 36 and 37 defense respectively, while doing 34 and 28 damage at 46 and 47 defense respectively. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today, and why not like and subscribe if you did. Have a good day, drink plenty of water, get good sleep, and get absolutely cherished because you deserve it. There's no joke here. Goodbye!